Welcome Strategy Battle Gamers to another GBHL YouTube channel video. You're here with your channel host, GBHL James.
And GBHL Jamie. And it's Speak Friendly Question, episode 95.
95, five away.
Five more. We need to get like a 100th birthday banner or something.
We need to be a little bit organised because it's going to get to it.
I'm like, oh god, let's just go to the shops and buy a cake.
We'll get thinking, if you've got any suggestions about how we should celebrate our 100th
century.
Our century of videos. How long have we been doing this for now? Nearly 2 years?
Well, when it reaches 104, that's 2 years. That's Speak Friendly Question.
Wow, absolutely amazing. So thanks for supporting us this long, guys. And let's get straight to it. We are in the man cave.
Yeah,
your first video in the man cave.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it needs some heaters, doesn't it? I've put the heating on before.
Floor heating.
First question is from Jeremy Smith.
Yep, he says first comment. He's auto liked it, and we're at 3,958 subscribers at the time that he wrote this. I think we've got up to about 380.
We're so close.
So close to 4,000 now. 20
more. If you've got any friends who haven't liked, shared, subscribed, on all of that stuff, then make sure that they get on it.
Yeah. Speak. He's watched the episode, but his question last week must have been missed, which I don't think we did, or just forgot.
He probably just ignored.
Probably just ignored it. Friend, you don't know Cthulhu or optometry? Poor vocab scores. Well, oh well.
It wasn't optometry. It was because it was like
it was a very
specific part of.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't say that he was becoming an optometrist. So
do one.
Yeah.
Question: which heroes or captains lead warriors of the dead, and who for giant eagles?
So which heroes or captains? Anybody from the fiefdoms list. So that's anyone from Imrahil to Forlong the Fat to the King of the Dead, which obviously makes most sense to Dune here, and captains of Dol Amroth and the like.
Angor the Fearless.
Angor the Fearless. There you go.
And who leads giant eagles? Radagast, Garn, Guahir obviously, and what's the Hobbit?
Beorn.
Vanderbrist Bulroar. Does Beorn lead them?
Yeah,
are they in the Radagast Alliance list?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, okay. Also, then Tauri
and Bard
can lead them for some reason. Yeah,
I've had that.
It makes no sense. Next up.
So next up we've got.
Wait, sorry. Next question. What do you consider the top 3 always do's and don'ts in SBG?
So he's put some. I'll explains here. He's put always max bows, always put hero on a mount, always take a banner, not necessarily. Always spend all your points where you can. Don't punch your opponent in the face. Sometimes that could work.
Don't grab the TO, etc.
Do's and don'ts.
Do's, I say, well, it depends on the force you're taking, but I would say always max your bow limits. Unless you're taking evil, in which case don't take any bows unless you're Harad or Isengard. Yeah,
no point taking some token bows, I don't think.
There's no point taking like 4 bows. Unless you're filling up your points.
Yeah.
Which is, like I say, my other thing. If you can fill up the points with anything, it's worth it because don't play underpointed.
Yeah, I see that quite a lot, and I'm sure you're the same. When
I've got 5 points left, so I just give people 5 spears.
Yeah.
And you know why not? It increases your versatility that little bit more, and you spend those points.
Yeah. I see that all the time with war gear and people being like, I'm on 497, and you're like, well, you've got 3 points, you can put some spears on, or put some bows on,
or thrown weapons or something. Just
shield or whatever it might be.
Just anything to fill those points up. Even if it's like a bowman, like just give him a shield so he gets that option to shield.
Yeah. Do's and don'ts.
There's not many don'ts really. I think the don'ts will come down to the sort of interaction between players. Like don't touch their models without first asking permission.
Yeah. Little etiquette things like that.
Yeah. Don't. If it's an important move, don't move it without letting them see the measurement first.
Yeah. Yeah. Make sure you measure your movements unless it's clearly in. Because there's nothing more frustrating than someone going down and going, I'm going to move him here, leaving it, and then picking it up and bringing it back. That's a don't.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. Also, say trying not to have too many backsies because you're a charge there. Actually, no, bring it back because you'll never get it to the same place. And what might have been out of charge originally might then be in charge. So try to just plan out the move and make a choice.
Yeah. Try and make sure that your opponent has a fun and enjoyable game. Ultimately, this is about 2 people having fun across the table from each other. No matter what tournament or competition you're in.
Yeah.
That's a definite do. A little one that I picked up early on was about make sure your opponent sees your dice before you pick them up, and pick away the negatives, the fails, not the good ones.
Yeah.
Pick away the fails, because if you're picking up the good ones and going, oh, that got, they might not have seen it. So
yeah. If you can pick away the fails, then there's only what's left on the table, and there's less chance of sort of unscrupulous behaviour by you're not going to pick away the hits. You'll pick away the misses. Whereas if you're picking up the hits, and you can pick up any dice, and that was a hit, that was a hit, that was a hit.
Don't count dice that fall off the table.
Yeah.
Some people do.
Don't throw your dice across the table. Try and control your rolling, people.
Do you know what though? Sometimes it is tough. Like you can do something, and then it depends on your tables.
Occasionally, you'll go, and it'll just fly, and you go, oh god, that was a mistake.
Yeah.
But most of the time, if you just drop it onto the table, or a small, it's all in the wrist.
But I think we've had that problem quite a bit because of playing at at the Northwest Gaming Centre and stuff. Because of course it's hard surface tables a lot of the time. But these maps from Frontline Gaming. Little inline joke there. These are really good because you don't get much of a bounce on them, which is good. Same with the Gilball mats as well.
Neoprene mats.
So thank you very much for your question, Jeremy Smith. Next up we've got Ty Matsushita. He's put, hey gents, I'm trying to think of fluffy allies for Dale, but I'm rather stumped beside armies of Thror. Yeah, because
there isn't anyone else.
There isn't really anyone else kind of in
I guess Thranduil's Halls might still help out.
Yeah, that's a good shout. He's put, is there a fluff reason for Dale to be allied with any Manish armies? I've been thinking about using some Huns counting as riders of Rohan, some light bow armoured cavalry, having a somewhat similar aesthetic to the Dale, but I need to think of some fluff behind them. Loving the content as always.
You could always just use Rohan and count them as, count as and convert them to be looking like Dale.
I tell you what's a really good resource to delve into for this is to look into MERP, or Middle Earth Role Playing as it's called, by ICE, is that right? I think it's by ICE. And they do a lot of sort of expansions that cover different regions, and I ended up knowing a reasonable amount because of the forum game that I was on, because you used that as a base. And Dale were allied with Dorwinion, which is a small kingdom on the Sea of Run. And of course Dale will have existed before Rohan existed, I believe, so that you could have Northmen from Ravanian, I think it's called, I think that's how you pronounce it. So you could get Rohan in that way and go for sort of the even the Sons of Ale kind of style and approach, because it's sort of while they were Northmen and not the Kingdom of Rohan. So those are some other things you could think about, or you could maybe come up with having the Beornings, doing something along like the Woodsman from Mirkwood. That's another way of getting Manish allies in. So I hope that helps Ty Mashushita.
Yep.
Which brings us up to Ryan Shady Shaw.
Yep, he says, you got that right, Jamie, shady by nature. Yeah. James, it's no trick, because it was the Jägermeister Red Bull thing, wasn't it?
That's right, yeah, he said get me a Red Bull.
It's no trick, I'm just not into my liquor, so I'm happy with Larry Miller with a can of Red Bulls, the deal is still there.
Okay, pint for a can of Red Bull.
Yeah.
Sounds good, on face value.
Yeah. I want to apologise for never asking anything hobby related, I've just not got a clue what to ask, but I want to stay in the loop, so here goes with randomness.
That's cool.
What are your top 3 favourite movies? Ryan Shady Shaw's would be 8 Mile, the 80s Transformer movie, and Straight Outta Compton. To anyone who's not seen these, I highly recommend them. I'm totally not biased. Once again, sorry for asking off-topic things. Thanks from Ryan Shady Shaw.
I used to love 8 Mile.
I never watched it.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I've got it upstairs if you ever wanted to borrow it.
Good. I'm not a teenager anymore.
It's one of those, you know, when like people come out of like a new watching Rocky or something, come out like, "Whoa," become like boxers. I come out of that, and I definitely thought I could rap battle anybody. You know what I mean? So it's one of those movies. It doesn't make my top 10 though. No. Top 3 movies.
Top 3. Mine change all the time.
Yeah.
We had to do this when I worked for the Odeon. We had to have our favourite film on our badge.
Oh wow!
And
wow, that's that one movie.
One movie. And
what did you do?
Occasionally I'd lose my badge. Oh yeah, but Jerry, I'm a different film one.
I can't have this movie be the definition of me.
Yeah.
Do you know what, we found that in the gym. We allowed our members to pick 3 songs, and we were going to have like a gym member playlist, which ended up being such an eclectic mix. It does not get played because it goes one end.
It's just weird.
One end it goes on some mad gangster rap, and next second it goes to like High School Musical. So you don't do that because it's a bit trippy. But people put weeks into this. They're like, oh no, you just
three songs. My 3 songs.
It's because it's hard. They thought people are going to judge me.
Yeah, well, having that film on your phone, it's like,
what was it?
It started off with Braveheart, because that was
Braveheart is a good movie.
Because that's what when you do the interview for the Odeon, you have to sell a film to the interviewers.
Okay, that's good.
And I sort of memorised the blurb of Braveheart. I couldn't do it now, but I memorised that, and then I also told them why I liked it and the historical references for me, and etc. etc. So that was
a history, man.
Yeah. So I had that on my badge because I thought, right, I got the job because I sold Braveheart. I better put that on my badge and say it's my favourite film, because they said sell as your favourite film. I was like, oh.
Braveheart's one of those, when it comes on the telly, even though you've watched it a million times, you watch it. You watch it. Like,
so,
even with adverts.
I was just doing my ones that had on there. So Braveheart was on there. Reservoir Dogs was on there.
That's a good movie, yeah, it's up there.
And True Romance was up there as well. Was on that.
Okay.
True Romance is the Quentin. Have you seen it?
I don't think I have.
It's written by Quentin Tarantino, but he sold it to a different director so that he could fund Reservoir Dogs.
Oh wow.
So it's written by Quentin Tarantino, scores by Hans Zimmer, went before Hans Zimmer blew up, and it's got like loads of actors in that were amazing. Like Brad Pitt's in it, but he's in it for like 5 minutes. There's loads of actors when they were getting bigger were in it, and it's an amazing film.
There you go. That's good.
So that's my 3.
I don't think I could pick 3. I really
they're just the 3 that are on my badges. They're not my top 3 probably.
It's hard. I really like Shawshank Redemption.
Yes.
I really like The Green Mile.
Yes.
Cool Hand Luke, which is an old movie with Paul Newman, I really like, and the old original True Grit movie is a really good film. I like a lot of Disney movies. I love Toy Story. Obviously, I love the Lord of the Rings movies. Obviously.
And Once Upon a Time in the West, I like my westerns as well. But
do you like the original True Grit?
I've not seen it.
You'd love it. It's so good. It's so good.
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Love that movie film. But I couldn't pick a top 3. There's no way of.
It's very hard. I would struggle picking a top 10 because who do you leave out of that? Yeah. You know what I mean?
It's like Lord of the Rings should be there because I've watched it so many times, but there are other contenders for top 3.
Yeah. So that was a really good question. So thank you very much for that, Ryan Shady Shaw, and no problem with asking us off topic. It's always nice talking about other things. So next up we've got Lucas Whitcroft. Right, I like Lucas. We're arranging a game soon, I believe.
Oh,
cool. He's going to be travelling up to Manchester to film a battle report. And he wants me to use my Angmar, so that should be cool. Hi guys, Lucas here. I was just wondering if it would be cheesy to put Dwalin in a Galadriel list.
Yes.
Elves need a hero who can chop through lines, and if they die, there is no need to get
annoyed about it.
Yeah, no need to get annoyed about it.
So you just throw him in like a hand grenade, like Boromir.
I, however, would not do this because I would only play themed Galadriel armies. Just wondering what you thought of it, Lucas.
Yeah, it is cheesy. Just if it's just him in a Galadriel army, yes, you buy him for the profile.
You could get away with putting someone like Boromir of Gondor in, like when you mentioned that then, because of course going through into.
He goes through Lothlorien. It's the Lothlorien elves and the Fellowship, but it's just Boromir.
It's just Boromir. Because he's great profile, fun to use.
But Dwalin just dropped into a Galadriel list. There's no reason for him to be there. They don't pass through that area, so no.
No, so probably from a fluffy point of view, no, Lucas. But keep thinking, buddy, and look forward to our battle report. So next up, it's Sean Shaw, 100.
He says, hi, I currently bought the last few Harad models I needed before they got out of stock. I dislike pretty much all the models in that list, apart from the box standard Warriors and Raiders. Would a Harad army consisting of Warriors, Raiders and a Mummic be considered filthy? No.
No, definitely not.
No, they wouldn't be. It's only when you start spamming the elites is when it gets filthy.
Yeah, because they're cheap. If you spam Watches Arcana and do the whole Serpent Sting thing that way, lots of Serpent Guard.
Fat guys.
Yeah, got them all in.
Or you go with the Reavers and...
You go the Reavers route and then start allying things in to protect them.
Yeah. And the comments say, no, that wouldn't be cheesy as well.
Yeah.
So next up is Raina Lee.
Raina Lee, I have a question on cavalry charges and spear supports. When a cavalry win a charge against infantry, do they knock down both the model that they are base contact with and the model spear support, or just the model? Thank you, just the model.
Just the model they're in base contact with. Spear supports aren't technically in the fight.
There you go.
Next is David Whittaker.
Nice long one for you.
Yeah. He says, I love the idea of prioritising hobby over more essential supplies during the apocalypse. I take Mordor with Felbeast, Troll Chieftain and Moran Orcs to face off against my Minas Tirith fluff with Faramir, Baragon, Pippin and a good mix of troops. That way, other survivors can relate to the battles as both forces clash in the movies.
Good shout.
If we all had a similar idea, we can bunker down at Warhammer World, which can be fortified reasonably well, assuming there's zombies, cannibals, or other ne'er-do-wells roaming the wastes. We can get hobby until it all blows over.
Nice thinking.
Yeah. Question?
That would be my priority.
I was thinking of making a chess set with SBG minis at some stage. Which opposing factions would you want to see, and what would each fill? E.g. Warriors administrated as pawns, Isengard as rooks, Knights administrated as knights, House of Court as bishops, Bosra as a queen, and Denethor as the king.
That's cool.
So cheers for popping up with my long questions.
That's cool. So if you're doing army specific,
I guess you want two factions that could face off against each other.
I would obviously do Rohan and Isengard.
Well, Rohan and Isengard would make sense. That's the first thing I thought of. You can have Rohan warriors as pawns, and Uruk-hai.
Yeah.
Or maybe have Dunland as your pawns.
What in that?
Because then you can start having Uruk-hai as other things on the back. Because if your troop choices drop off quite quickly for Isengard.
Yeah.
So obviously you have Saruman as your king and Theoden as your king.
I don't know. I think you would have your Uruk-hai. You'd have your Uruk-hai like pipe, but I think it's quite sort of in your mind. Yeah. Obviously, Saruman should be your queen.
But because they're the most powerful piece, but they're also the piece that if they go down, they should be the end of that army.
Yeah, that's true.
So you don't want to lose Theoden, you don't want to lose Saruman. So they should be
Theoden being a king makes sense.
Yeah. And obviously your queen for Rohan should be Eomer.
Yeah, your knights for Isengard should be
Wild Riders or Sharku on Warg.
Yeah, Wild Riders, maybe.
So rooks. Work inwards.
Yeah,
rooks.
work inwards. So rooks.
So castles.
Berserkers. Not a bad show.
Yeah, no. Berserkers. Or maybe ferals and you have berserkers later on for like your bishops.
Maybe.
And berserkers for rooks. Yeah. And who on this side? Royal Guard?
Royal Guard. Yeah. This is a big decision.
Yeah. Then your knights. So we said Sharku on Warg or something like similar.
Yeah.
And over that side, Sons of Ale.
Sons of Ale, yeah, let's go for it. But I probably wouldn't do that because it's not a movie. I know it's in the books.
Oh yeah.
The highlight of my plane journey. Yeah. Look everybody.
It's a brief mention. The Sons of
Twice.
Ale.
As a reference to the overall race of Rohan, not as a specific warrior troop.
Or you can just have Rohan warriors on horse. These your knights. Then you've got bishops.
Bishops. See, this is tough because you almost want like your characters. You want your heroes.
So you almost want for like the rooks. You might even just want captains or something, or you want named heroes on the back, really, don't you?
You want named heroes, yeah, which is tough. So because I'm an all mountain man, I'll probably go for your Riders of Rohan as the front. I think your Royal Guard as your rook. But really, you want Hammer and Gamling as your rooks.
Yeah.
Like you want Hammer and Gamling looking reasonably similar-ish, on there. You then want both mounted, by the way. You definitely want Theoden and Eomer in the middle.
Yeah.
You need Eowyn in there. This is well good. You want Eowyn.
Maybe Eowyn could be your knight.
Bishop. No, she's a bishop, isn't she?
She could be both though.
Nah.
Well, yeah, you have to.
Oh.
You have to have duplicates.
Duplicates is annoying.
Tough.
Eowyn, yeah, let's get Eowyn in there as.
I think as a knight, because she just.
But then Royal Guard as your knights. Royal Guard as your knights and her as your bishops. Yeah, don't like duplicates. So yeah, that's that.
Isengard?
I think did we do it?
No,
Warriors with pikes, because that's really sort of
in
people's minds. Berserkers are very iconic.
Yeah. You have to be Warg Riders.
Warg Riders as your knights, your bishops. Green?
Yeah, it can be double Greener because they're going off at angles and the Trixie.
Yeah. You could have the Queen being a demolition charge. No, Lurtz.
Lurtz would be your Queen, wouldn't he?
Lurtz would be your Queen.
And Saruman the King. Yeah, that's a good question.
That's a great question.
Cheers for putting up.
Gonna do it now.
Okay. Shem Barnes.
Opinions on Dweller in the Dark.
Good.
Good for its points.
Yeah, 75 and 0.7.
0.7. Pretty good.
Just got to shield it from shooting is all.
Yep, against elven shooting not great, and against heroes with might that can heroic strike. We'll go down reasonably.
It forces them to heroic strike though, which is...
forces them. Unless you've got Aragorn. Go and check out Battle Report of Steve Crow of Top Table Ultragon Wargamers.
I think it's Top Table Gaming, isn't it?
Top Table Gaming from Ultragon Wargamers. There's a really good battle report with us in Ultragon where he uses Dweller in the Dark.
Lord Dracorum next. He says he's just finished my Isengard. I only have 3 berserkers and 10 crossbowmen. Was thinking where to put them in my 750 point list, which is Saruman unmounted, 6 Uruk-hai warriors with shield, 5 Uruk-hai pikemen, an Isengard troll. Lurtz, 1 Uruk-hai with banner, 4 Uruk-hai with shield, 4 pikemen, Uruk-hai captain with heavy armor shield, 4 Uruk-hai warriors with shield, 4 Uruk-hai pikemen. So where should they put the berserkers and crossbow units?
So what does that come to in total?
Well, he's got 4 spaces there, 3 spaces there, and 1. No, that's 4.
How many points is he playing at there?
750 points.
No, but I mean, like in total, what's that? So what's left over points wise, so for us to fit in?
I don't know. I assume it's 750 points.
Where to put them in my 750 point list? Well, if it's already 750 points, you wouldn't be able to put them in. Or do you mean replacing things? That's what I mean.
I have no idea.
No idea. So these things come to the 10 points. So 40, 80.
So 160, 210, 270, 370, 470, 540, 600, 670.
Yeah, so you got 80 points left. 80 points left. You're going to struggle to get everything. I mean, if you've got 10 Uruk-hai crossbows,
I think just put the Uruk-hai crossbows
put the Uruk-hai crossbows into one of the warbands instead.
Yeah.
And then you can put your berserkers.
Maybe just put the Uruk-hai crossbow with the Uruk-hai captain, replace his shield for a crossbow,
Yeah.
so you can just sit with it, or take Vraska if you've got him. Move those warriors into Lurtz's. You'll have to lose a few, and then just upgrade warriors with shield into berserkers.
Yeah, where you can, and use them on flanks and stuff like that. So yeah, you've got nice long questions so far today.
Yeah.
It's not working out for you. You've got Nano Dave 1980s, but hi GBHL, question for James, a hobby one. If you had to repaint your Rohan force, what colours would you use instead of greens and reds? Well, I am repainting it, and I am using greens and reds. I would probably, if I were to pick a different colour, I've seen people do it with blues and stuff. I'm not really a fan of that. I think I would probably go with blacks and browns and just earthy colours. You know, a bit more leather. I think I've used a bit more sort of metal armour. I'd probably go more leather orientated, more browns, and try and keep it grim and realistic and Saxon-like.
Yeah. Oh yeah, just Damien said there's no issue 1 left of SBG anymore.
Oh wow.
Oh dear, for the guy who's paid.
Congratulations. Oh, Delph, because
yeah.
I think I've maybe got a spare one. So
Sort it out.
sorry for that person who left that behind at some point over the last 2 years at an event. So yeah. And for you, my next question for Jamie is, what type of board games do you play? That's a big question.
Yeah.
Would you like to do a review on the channel or a let's play for those things? Thanks, Dave.
Yeah, whenever I've played them with my housemates, I've always thought about how I'd record this.
Mm-hmm.
It seems quite tough, and I've watched quite a lot of YouTube videos on board games and how they've recorded it, and it seems like a lot more work than recording a bat rep.
Yeah.
Because you have to cut to the game, cut to the players, you sort of like take the players outside the room and say what they're thinking of doing and bring it back in, because it's not like in this game where it all happens in one go. Board games, you can pause them, break it down, say what you want to achieve in this game or who you just want to screw over, basically.
It'd be nice to do it at some point, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Just find as always, it's finding a good, effective way of doing it, because that's even tough with other war games, you know, because some war games fit our style of filming, and some don't necessarily, and a bit harder to do. But I think one that I think would be good is when we play
the Lord of the Rings game.
That'd be well good. Just
That'd
the
be
camera
so
pointing down in the middle of us. You've got the board in front of you,
which
is in shot, and it's just 2 people's hands rolling, because that's all we really need. But past the intro, it was so much fun as well.
It was really good.
And we smashed it.
Only Jesus. It's like, right, we've got 1 shot to do it. Right.
No, it was cool. I enjoyed it so much. It was one of the raffle prizes. Thing. I should have kept it.
Games I play, I've got a wide variety. Anything from sort of like the most complicated one is the Game of Thrones board game, which it takes a long time when you've got new players, all the way down to just a very quick card game like Munchkin and Love Letter and everything in between.
That Love Letter was really good.
Yeah, I've got that on me. I keep that in my bag now.
That's a really good fun game if anybody gets a chance to do that.
Hobbit Love Letter.
We did that a lot on the flights.
Waiting for the flight, wasn't it, on the way back?
Waiting for the flight on the way back, we played it. Yeah, it was really good.
In the,
you play Sparkus Blood and Sand as well?
Sparkus Blood on the Sand, got that. Just bought one called Portal. My board game collection has grown massively, which I'm very happy about.
You host tonight, don't you?
Yeah, I've got quite a few pirate games now as well. Just like sailing around, get treasure, attack other people, sink their ships, which is good fun. Some sort of more generic games, which is just like trading, just because it keeps the non-war gamers interested for longer.
I'd just like to make a bit of an observation live on camera. And Jamie does board game night on a Thursday evening, and I went over there to obviously speak for any question, and I did ask him, would I be able to stick around? He's like, no, I'm sorry, we're full tonight. But he did very kindly play that game with me. And as we were coming towards the end of the game, my observation was that a lot of women and girls seem to be coming into the house without
board game night.
So, Dark Horse Giblin.
No. Next up, we've got Acthon 39.
Speakman in question. Hi guys.
It's me, isn't it? You just read that one.
Yes, it is you.
Acthon 39 says, speak for any question. Hi guys, so it's been a while. Sure you didn't miss me much, but I'm back. Thank you so much for an amazing weekend at Redesolation. So much fun, and hopefully one day I might get to play one of you guys.
Arrange to come up. You know, let us know when you've got time. We can usually meet you during the week at some point.
Then there's a list that's got a bit messed up in the formatting here, but Goblin King, 12 goblins, Grinner, 12 goblins, Goblin Captain, 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 9 goblins, Moria Shaman, 90 models in total, need to kill 46 to break, need to kill 68 to reduce to 25%. And that's for the Mansfield events.
Is that 1,000 points? For Mansfield?
It must be.
That's awful.
That's grim.
That is so horrible.
Sorry it's so long for you to read, especially Jamie, but I'm sure you'll forgive me, which I definitely do, as this guy gave me Gildor at Redesolation.
That's really nice of him. He's a lovely guy, and listen, if you ever want to travel up and do some filming with us, we're usually available afternoons during the week.
Yeah.
So let us know, and I'm available Saturday afternoons as well sometimes. So yeah, next up we got.
So the list, yeah, this is grim.
Oh, the list, yeah, it's really good.
The thing you might struggle against is casters can shut down Goblin King, and then it's just relying on weight of numbers, which you
which is really good.
Which you have.
I would hate to play against that. Imagine playing against that high ground or something.
It just sets up and goes. Alright.
I would struggle.
I'm here. I'm here.
It's when you get drawn against things like that. It's like the kind of armies that I play with.
And it's not Lords of Battle.
And you're just like, oh no.
Like, really?
And then you get your hero at Lords of Battle and you're like, it's not my weekend!
Yeah.
So next up we've got Nardistar. He's put, hi guys, thanks for the tip. I will very likely see you two in Stirling.
Fantastic.
This is a chap from Edinburgh that we recommended go to Stirling, I think Possibly. It might be. What's your view on warband splitting? For a first idea of a list for Stirling, I've got 4 heroes, 38 warriors, all from the same faction. 2 of the heroes are pretty big and I think merit a full warband. Then I've got a middling one and a cheap one. Would you guys go 12 and 2 or 7 each or something else? P.S. You got my name right the first time. It's all one word, not initials. Fantastic.
Good analysis.
Alistair.
What would I do? It depends who the hero. You've kept it pretty secret here. I don't know who your big heroes are.
Yeah, tell us.
But I'm not going to compete at Stirling. It's not a tournament.
I would like to.
Yeah.
Whenever I say things like that, it goes wrong.
Just off the basis, 7 each doesn't sound terrible.
It's more balance, isn't it, for the ones where you like reconnoitre if you're waiting to come on, or hold ground where you might be split up.
Yeah.
Having balance. But it depends on the heroes.
Depends on the heroes, obviously, because if one of your cheap heroes is like really cheap, you can use them effectively as a drop to get one up on your opponent. I'll put down Damrod. You put down your warband. Okay, I'll adjust to where that's gone. Similarly, the big heroes can handle themselves in things like take and hold if they come on by themselves, and your smaller heroes then need the help. So it's how look at the scenarios and look at where you guys might be deploying.
I certainly agree with that. Thank you very much for your question. Next up we've got Michael Bojan.
He says, hello, do you think Barrow-Wights would be a good enough replacement for Nazgul? I want to add a second spellcaster to my Isengard list, but I can't take any of the Wraiths due to tournament restrictions. Barrow-Wights seem pretty fragile and Paralysed has short range and it's not too easy to cast, but still nasty. What do you think? And thanks for the great content.
Sounds like a good tournament.
Yeah. No, barrow rights. I highly rate barrow rights. Let's say you come up against a troll that's not a hero troll, 1/4+, and it's pretty much out of the game. You can go in and kill it reasonably easy. There'll always be a threat to heroes when the lines meet. You know, if you've sapped Will, I assume you've got one Nazgul, you want to add a second spellcaster. If you've sapped Will, then a hero can't get too close to that barrow light. So they're a good deterrent.
Yeah. The second spellcaster's Isengard, he's probably got Saruman, hasn't he?
Oh yes, yeah.
We've got Saruman.
Well, keep.
But barrow whites are cool, and they're lovely models.
Yeah,
I really like the model. It's got my little Angmar display up there, fighting off against what will be the Rivendell Knights. So next up we've got WK Balladur. He's been a long time, guys. Hello again. Good to have you back.
Why has he got an upside down Canadian flag as his profile?
Down with Canada. Oh, shots fired. Come and take them on at our October event next year. I dropped away from Lord of the Rings SBG since I could never find anyone to play with. Finally have, going to my first wargame tourney. That's great news.
Fantastic.
News. I'm planning on bringing a Candish army supplemented by Easterlings. My question's about the Candish chariot. It counts as a monstrous mount. Can I use barge?
No.
You can't use the...
You can't use brutal power attacks. It's been cleared up in the Games Workshop erratas.
And this is another one that's in the FAQ, I believe. Second, the King's Axe counts as an elven blade. Can I use it to piercing strike since it is an axe?
No, it's a blade, so you've got to feint with it, which is, I think it's the wrong ruling personally.
Yeah, it should be the other way around.
It should be an axe that counts as an elven blade, not it's an axe that counts as a sword.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
It's just...
Basically, how do you sort out the rules with the King? Well, there you go.
Games Workshop did it. If you go onto their Black Line website, find the Hobbit SBG rules area and go to the Fallen Realms errata and FAQ, you'll get it all in there.
So there you go, pal. So next up we've got
This week's question, by the way, thank you guys. Combine this with the plans here. There is genuine excitement that the weekend is coming. Since I'm having my baby last year, it's not like I'm hitting the pub, etc. So the GBHL videos are my link to sanity.
Fantastic.
Oh, good. Yeah. Some form of sanity. Question. My mate plays Mordor but refuses to use shamans out of principle.
What a guy.
What a good man.
What a guy.
Any advice you can offer him, as it's very hard once he's broken. Any must-haves for his list in terms of... any must-have units for his list. Nazgul stop the break-in because they're courage 6 and have a bucket of will to pass the double ones.
Yeah. High courage heroes that are hard to take out.
Yeah. So a Nazgul on foot behind the lines will keep the army there as well as Fury.
Yeah.
Charging terrifying things is much more difficult, but that's just part of the not taking a shaman.
Yeah. Very cool, what a guy, we like him. So next up we've got Andreas, the Norwegian Viking. He's put great stuff and banter as always. Only got 6 weeks to go until you reach
100.
100.
Yeah.
Oh, amazing. I find it
5
hard.
weeks when you're watching this.
I know. I find it hard to make small armies, 500 pointers, especially with any force, as I tend to think about the heroes I want to include and the synergies I want to have happen. And those tend to make for great 700 pointer armies, definitely. But not smaller ones, as I would lack the manpower to make things happen. Any pointers to making smaller armies? I know Jamie loves 500 point tournaments. I think he has said so himself, or James at one point. It might be me.
I think I've said it as well.
The 500 points is cool. It's good for my Rohan.
It's good for my Woes Elves, although not so much anymore.
But please share your insight. So 500 points.
500 points. You get 2 full warbands and something. There's not a full something. It's just a hero
In a standard build up.
Yeah. So for me, 500 points. What I used to take was Legolas, Rumil, Gombrigarn, full warband of elves, full warband of elves, and 7 or 8 Woses.
And got the cheap troops.
Got cheap troops and boost the numbers up. And they act as a front line that when they die I don't really care about because they are so cheap. And then I've got elves left behind, not worse supports. Yeah.
I think in most armies you're probably going to get 3 heroes in. If you're going all hero, you probably go for 3 big heroes at 500 points, which is doable and can be very competitive at 500 points as well, which is worth pointing out. But if you want a kind of standard army, it's probably going to be 3 heroes, and like Jamie says, you might get a warband of between 7 and 9.
For each one.
For each one. I've gone 2 ways with the All-Matter Rohan. The reason it works is because you don't get a lot of the big stuff at 500 points. But
there's no wizards to blast around freely and tie up heroes.
But it's just about high enough to get enough of the horsemen in for it to work.
Yeah.
It's when you go lower, it just affects your numbers too much. So you can't get the things that make it work. And I always go between, it's always a two thing in my mind. You go for less beefy Aomer, Erkenbrand obviously, and Eowyn, or do you take beefy Aomer and Erkenbrand? And it tends to be almost 2 full warbands.
Yeah.
So that's how I go with that. But yeah, generally 3 heroes.
Yeah.
2 and a bit warbands.
Oh, but for me, the Woes Elves have been shelved a bit. They're not, well, there haven't been any 500-point tournaments so far this year, which is
know,
rubbish.
It's sad. 500 points is cool.
But with the sort of surge of Rivendell Knights that have come around and popularity of Mirkwood armies, the defense 3 hurts too much.
Yeah.
Basically, and also the number of Goblin Town around now. It's just a terrible fight for me. So they've got so many numbers. We rule each other the same.
Yeah.
Their losses aren't as heavy as mine when they lose a fight.
It's more catastrophic.
And the Goblin King is there to hurl. Well, hurl has ruined a lot for the Wood Elves.
It's interesting, isn't it, how things like that have changed the meta over the past, even last year.
Yeah.
You know.
More Goblin Kings, so Wood Elves aren't viable anymore.
So there you go, Andreas, and look forward to seeing you next year, buddy. Next up, we've got Robert Camp.
He says, which profiles would you use in the game? Thranduil and Legolas have profiles from both Lord of the Rings and as well as The Hobbit. Are you able to choose the profile you want, and does the model need to be what you see is what you get for that profile? So yeah, you pay the points for what model and profile you want to use, and if you're at a tournament, you should have the correct model. Usually, yeah.
Usually, most people.
On the whole, it doesn't matter too much.
I was going to say, like, a lot of people are very much like Legolas is Legolas. I guess, like, old Thranduil is such a different aesthetic. I don't know how people's feelings are with that, although I won't be too...
I won't be too, because you know Thranduil is Thranduil. There's not 2 of them on the pitch.
It's more about what they're leading, if they're leading anything, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's more along those kind of lines, rather than... It's like with Legolas, isn't it? Are people fussed about putting armour on him if he's not one that's got armour and stuff? Not really. Not with war gear and stuff. So cheers for that, my friend. Next up, it's Dan Wood. He's put, hooray, more questions that need answering. I'm looking to play a fun list of just wild wargs out of the Moria book, but I am woefully without a wild warg chieftain. As TOs, would you guys accept Gothmog's warg as an appropriate proxy?
Yeah, I think we would.
Yeah, if it's different
he's very different. He's sort of curling around the base.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I would.
It's a metal model, so it's got that sort of weight to it as well.
Yeah. Either way, I should probably end up just getting the actual chieftain model, shouldn't I?
Yes, because it's very nice.
It's cool. Yeah, I got one down now. I love it. It's really good. It's a really good model.
Yeah.
But also, James, by the time you answer this question on the video, I should have that mounted Helm's Deep Theoden back in my possession. I'll be emailing you in the next few days to arrange getting him into your hands. That is fantastic.
I saw that on the Facebook page, was it?
I think so, yeah. That's really, really, really kind of it. It is a model that I really want. I'm not a huge... Is he here? I didn't paint this, but I'm not a huge fan of that one in comparison. The other one's got so much character. Although I think Theoden is one of the best sort of sculpted models in a lot of ways for the detail. It looks like him. Yeah. So thanks for that, Dan.
Next up, we got Resco Nesco. He says, right, I'm here this week. I'm excited about the upcoming Battle Companies videos.
It's very exciting.
It's good.
It's out there.
It's out there. First one's out. Second one will be out next Wednesday.
Woof, woof.
Every Wednesday. Woof woof. Woof woof is awful. You can't wound for toffee.
Well, yeah, let's be careful of not giving away any spoilers here.
No, in the last episode he had 8 dice to wound something.
Yeah,
in a 4+.
Is that the bit where just mass hilarity? Like, I'm there painting a banner. Damien's looking at mugs.
Damien's Damien.
Damien's being Damien in the background.
Yeah.
Or packing some stuff.
Oh, he's packing.
I think he was packing some stuff, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And you two were playing and just... You're very good at picking the names for these things.
Someone said that in the video. So.
Woof woof.
Woof woof woof. Resco Nesco says, would be a fan of lower points tournaments, and it would be nice if we could go all hero, but I understand if you don't want any Strider Elf to win combos, for example. So that's in relation to what I said last week, where I was going to do it 350 points, but you have to take at least 1 full Warband. That's not like set in stone.
You got to remember that this is Jamie and I's opportunity once a week to catch up with each other, and we don't see each other all the time.
Yeah, that's not set in stone.
Some people assume that we live together and stuff. No. like when what's his face from Australia? God, that's going to annoy me. But when he came over, and he was like, I'll meet you at Piccadilly Station for a part, and he assumed that you would be.
Yeah.
No.
working.
You wanted him to come, right? Yeah. So we just ramble about things out loud.
That's not set in stone, but I'll work on something like that.
I think it'd be cool with lower points cost.
Just lower points cost and bring an actual force, not the heroes. I know people like the all hero, but
it's something different again though. That's what I like about it. And none of our tournaments. I mean, I don't think any of the tournaments across the whole thing are samey particularly. No. I think everyone's always looking to find different little things to force people to bring different armies and
knock this around.
Yeah.
So the question is, what's your favourite SBG related conversion that you've seen?
Ooh.
I do like the Azog with his hands.
That's cool.
It's a cool conversion.
That's cool. Or even the this is from Dave Fredericks, by the way. Or even with the head of Thrall.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
I liked Steve Crow.
Baldwin's and Crow's Goblin Town conversions.
They're very cool. And also Stephen Crow's Sauron holding Gilgalad on flames.
Yes, that was very cool.
That was very, very cool.
Matthew Davies' Bomber.
Matthew Davies' Bomber with the horn was amazing. Dave Fredericks' Mounted Grima is really nice.
Yeah.
I really like that conversion. And his Thranduil on Elk, and that's really, really good. It's a conversion.
Just go to the Shadow and Flame website.
You want to see our favourite conversions? Just go to the Shadow and Flame website and go and check that out. We love those guys, they're legends. So who we got next? It's 19 Mark F91.
He's coming down next Thursday.
Oh, brilliant!
If you're free to come and get some games.
I should be, yeah.
Meeting at the Nilthus Game Centre around about 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock.
Am I filming in Salford doing my Switch Fit thing next Thursday? And I said yes to Thursday because I was like, that makes it easier for Jamie. Makes it easier for Jamie. I'll go film in Salford and then come film afterwards. I can change things around. That's cool. He's put, hey guys, what is the average time you can spend painting before you find it tedious and get bored? I find that watching films or listening to music or the GBHL podcast videos can motivate me to begin, but later starts to distract me and I get nothing done. Any good tips on how to stay motivated for a long time whilst not getting sidetracked? Thanks, Happy Strategy Battle Gaming. I don't know if you could tell there, but I was in jest including the GBHL podcast, and that would be my suggestion. Put a speak friend question or Plantier or some other hilarious content, and that'll keep you motivated for days.
For actual advice, my suggestion would be to paint a few things, and for me this is what works. Like I'll paint the skin of one, put that down, the skin of another, put that down, skin of another, put that down. Do something else for a little bit, come back to it when it's sorted, put the washes on, do something else, come back to it, and do small bite-sized amounts rather than, unless you've got to for a tournament, sit there and paint a model in its entirety. You disagree, don't you?
A little bit. A little bit. I think, from my own point of view, I think it's key, like you say, you want bite-sized amounts, but I think bite-sized amounts of models and then rewarding yourself with a hero is always a good thing to do. So like if you're doing troops, then I think, because you are batch painting, so you're painting the cloak on that one, the cloak on that one, the cloak on that one, the cloak on that one. The way that I paint now, I do kind of complete the colour before I move on to another bit, and doing big bits that are quite satisfying can keep you motivated. So sometimes I find doing the little tedious things, if you can first, the things that don't give the model a huge amount of effect, if you can do that and give yourself things to look forward to, so leave your cloaks, leave your faces or whatever you enjoy painting until last. But I always think, do it in little batches that doesn't take you too long, and then go and reward yourself by painting a hero in its entirety. Because that is very satisfying, because you can see it all coming together on one model, which tends to have a bit more detail, a bit more character, tends to be easier to paint in lots of ways as well. That tends to be my way of looking at it. But everyone's different, and that's the key thing there. So next up we've got Stephen Gill.
Stephen Gill says, question on Grima. As he normally comes out in big points games, but with the FAQ allowing him to be talked to with magic, he seems to get dealt with normally in short order. Is he no longer useful in the current meta?
Oh, he's so useful.
Oh, he's useful. Like, it only matters if they have a caster who can do damage with their spells to him. Otherwise, like, in my Wood Elf army, he's a pain. I have to sentinel him away.
Yeah.
And deal with him out.
Or dedicate troops to
lock him in
and stuff, But
that's 20 points holding up 30 for me if I was to do that.
Yeah.
So.
He is incredibly useful because
and he's just a threat. Like, you're just going to always lurk around. You don't want him to be.
you've got to think as well. It's like, you know, even if you have got like a Gandalf or a Saruman who can blast him away, or a Ringwraith who can black dart him, it's a turn where they're not casting another spell which they probably need to cast. You know, so let's say you've got Gandalf in there for a blinding light, and he's having to spend that first turn blasting. He's not getting his blinding light up, so you know it can affect various things.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, those crossbows might be a bit more of a danger, and he's definitely worth it.
Yeah.
I'm taking it to Stern.
Yeah, it makes sense to
Oh, yes.
Isengard. And finally,
It's Larry Miller.
we only got 14 comments.
That's not right. I don't
Surely
think so.
not.
I don't think that's 14. That's well more than 14.
1, 2,
I don't know. We made it last
4, 5,
a nice amount of time anyway.
10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 21. It's missing off 7.
Why is it telling us we've got 14?
Stupid YouTube.
Silly. Yeah, it's definitely YouTube, not my Mac. So he's put, yay, 350 points. I think 350 points is cool.
I think we'll go 350 points and I'll work out a comp for it.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Because you really like the DCHL.
Yeah, I like the...
You had to have one full.
If you want to ally, it needs to be a full warband.
That's what it was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was good.
So that
Made you think.
That would get around actually the Aragorn and twins.
Yeah.
Because you could have Aragorn as your general, and the twins would have to come, but they need a full warband.
It's a very competitive list, except the twins can't have armour for it to work. I think that's the thing. That's the trade-off.
Yeah, but it's worth it.
Still good, yeah. It's
That's
awesome.
350 points. What else can deal with those three?
I fought against the
Shooting.
I
Shooting is-
fought against a dwarven army that had Murin, Drar. It was low numbers, but because it was all defence 7, I needed 6s on the troops, and he had almost as much might as me somehow. I can't remember how.
Miriam Draw.
I struggled. I struggled. So anyways, but I have so many lists ready for that points level. Alas, many of them are all hero. Suppose I need a question now. What do you think of this 700 point list? Smell.
It's themed.
It's got a nice theme to it.
Good general.
Might struggle at certain scenarios. You can't take a banner into the death.
Yeah. Because the banner survives. Reconnoitre's the one it struggles at.
Yeah.
It struggles at. I mean, if you play Smell competitively, it can do all the scenarios.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What we should do? Give me my spell back.
Yeah.
I'll confess to Jane.
This isn't that This is just...
How long have I had him for? Has it been like a year?
It must be. Close
When
to.
did Smell come out?
Don't know. Jane, I don't know. It's been a good few months anyway.
It's been a long time. I think that'd be a good series.
That could be the 100th episode. I'll just film you telling Jane you've had Smell at mine for 8 months.
I still think what would be a really cool video, as a little sort of celebratory video, would be, because we have changed physically so much in that time. You know, doing that first shot from each video. I mean, it would be a pain.
Yeah, it would be. I'm not doing it. You would do it.
I could do it. Because I know how to, because you can screenshot from this.
You
I
just
literally just get the
print
videos,
screen.
print screen, and just print screen them all, and just fill up my desktop with them, and then just put them into...
Save as 1, save as 2, save as 3, insert that many
Yeah, because if you think about it, it's only, it don't be 100, it's only 100
clips.
images.
But it's the fact you've got to print screen, paste, save as 1. Open the next video, make it big, print screen,
Ryan Ratchford.
save as.
Hackathon! You've done some things for the Planter before, and you know, I know that you have done some things for us, like, for example...
Give me Gildor.
Yeah, giving him Gildor. I think you gave me something before that as well. Gave you done things before that. Gave me a making of...
Mal Wetter book.
That's right. And he also gave me a Mummock Hill with loads of Haradrim warriors and stuff, which I want to get converted into being a dead Mummock. Because those are cool from Shadow and Flame. Yeah, if you could do that for us, that would be brilliant. So that brings us to the end of episode 95 of Speak Friend Question. Hope you all enjoyed it. Remember to stay in the loop and ask us questions next week. Don't forget to comment, like, share and subscribe.
Pledge to me on Patreon.
Make sure you like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Support your hobby.
And happy strategy battle gaming.